I just want to record the practice for people. So we're going to come to our mats. And if you have that cushion, you can also sit on a chair, like I said, but if you have that cushion, we're going to sit actually on it so that our seat is on it, so that we are sitting on our knees, but our pressure is not on our legs, right? So we're just sitting, feeling nice and tall. You can also sit cross-legged on your mat if that feels better for you. And let's just come to our mat and feel into our body. So let's take a moment to reconnect to our posture, remembering that our posture is important for our muscles and our joints, but it's also important for our energy. So really you want to feel as if your head is stacked over your heart, is stacked over your pelvis, right? So feeling that nice line of energy. And I'm going to get you guys to do a couple things for me here before we get too far in. I'd like you to place your hand on your belly and place your other hand on just above your seat there. So kind of where your back would meet your buttocks back there. And I just want you to feel kind of the sensation of tipping yourself forward a little bit. So this hand that's on your belly is going to pull into the navel. The one on your back is going to kind of push down towards the floor. So when I say engage your abs, pull your navel in, pull your tailbone down, that's the sensation or the movement that I'm actually looking for. So I'll turn to the side so you guys can see it a little bit better. So you're pulling down, right? So it's almost as if you're trying to put skinny jeans on or something, right? Like you're drawing everything in. So I want you to notice how that instantly kind of makes you feel more stable, right? Like it gives you a little bit more oomph in the body and enables you to be a little bit straighter. Yeah. So that's what I mean when I say that, okay? The other thing you'll hear me say a lot is knit your ribs together. So now just for a second, I want you to feel your ribs here, and I want you to kind of come up and feel where they meet. So they meet in a little bit of an angle, right? So they are like this. So when I say knit your ribs together, I mean, they're probably not going to move a lot, but what I mean is trying to bring that closer together. So you're trying to cinch in, almost like you have a corset on. So again, just feeling that in your body, you can kind of see how that again braces you and gives you some of that stability. All right, so those are some of the cues that I use, and hopefully that's helpful to remind you how to do them. So let's come to our seat, cross-legged on your chair or in this high kneeling with your seat supported, and feeling into those cues, right? So finding that strong, stable posture, your guitar string so that you have your perfect resonance, and just take a few rounds of breath here. Just dropping into the mat, coming to your practice. So inhaling, being present here on your mat, exhaling any worries of the day that was. Inhaling, being present here, exhaling any worries for what's to come. We're just going to continue with a little bit of breath work, being a little bit more concentrated with our breath. So as we inhale, I want you to inhale for the count of 3. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, and then exhale, 1, 2, 3. When you inhale, I want the belly to rise, and then your ribs to flare, and then your chest to rise. And then release that, 2, 3. So belly, ribs, chest, release. So really trying to fill the lungs as much as you can fill them from front to back, side to side, and then letting it all go. Nice. You can close your eyes if you wish or not, remembering I'm here to guide you, but the practice is yours, right? Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3. So continue with your breath there. And I just want you to feel into your body that kind of 2 different sensations of holding yourself strong, but yet still being able to breathe. So that's that sweet spot. And it's a little different for everybody. And you kind of just have to experience that for yourself. A few more rounds here. counting the breath in, 1, 2, 3, and then out, 1, 2, 3. Nice. All right, let's roll our shoulders a little bit. And then bring your hands a little closer in to your hips. Inhale, nice and tall. And then exhale, folding forward and bringing the hands down towards the mat. So you're coming into what's called child's pose, and it's supported because your seat is on your block or your cushion, right? And just have a few rounds of breath here. Again, feeling the back expand, feeling the hips release a little, but yet also feel the spine long. So when you inhale, I want you to think about being taller in your spine. And then as you exhale, think about folding down a little more. Inhale and exhale. And release. Nice. Now we're going to walk our hands over to the right. And so your hands are on a little bit of a diagonal, and you're sitting back with your hips. So your hips should be pressing into the floor or into your block or into your cushion or whatever you're sitting on, right, as the arms reach away. So you should feel a nice stretch in the side of the body. Inhaling and exhaling. Trying to fill that side part of your body with so much breath. All the while rooting back and feeling the tension, right, in your guitar string, that perfect tension. So you're not just floppy, you have that engagement in the back a little bit, right? Pulling the navel in, curling that tailbone down. Beautiful. And now we're gonna walk our hands over a little bit more. So you're really over to the side, right? So your hands are right over to the right there. Still trying to root down best you can. So pushing those hips down into the floor, grounding down into the floor, and keeping the right hand into the mat, coming up into a side bend, right? So this is very similar to what we did yesterday in the chair. So if you're in the chair, you could just do some of the stuff we did yesterday. So really opening up, allowing the side body to stretch, pressing into the floor with your hand. Inhaling and exhaling. Allowing that side body to open. Nice. And inhale, coming all the way up, stretching high. Exhaling, coming to seat. Inhale. And now we're going to side bend to the other side. So bringing down the left hand to the floor, right hand way over. Really ground your seat down, right? Feel into the security of your block or your seat. Big inhales, big exhales. Maybe open up the heart a little bit. Nice. So now let's bring both hands down to the floor. So we're in that kind of funny half child's pose, I guess I'll call it. So again, rooting back, really pressing your hips into the mat. You can walk the hands forward to tailor that stretch to yourself, right? Just breathing into the side waist. Again, just almost envisioning your ribs are like little accordions and you're pushing air out and they're drawing apart and then coming back together. Just visualize your spine getting taller with more space in between each one of the bones in your back. Beautiful. And let's come to center. Walk the hands to center and walk yourself up and place your hands on your thighs. Beautiful. All right, let's use our prop. So just put it to the side there. And we're going to come into all fours. So if this is not accessible for you, you can still do a lot of what I'm explaining seated in the chair, just pressing your hands into the thighs, okay? But we're gonna come into all fours. So let's find, again, our grounding here. So wanting our wrists and shoulders in alignment, wanting our hips and knees in alignment, okay? To find yourself sturdy and strong, right? Feeling that engagement here in the abdominals. So pulling the navel in towards the spine, that curling down to the tailbone and knitting the ribs together. So let's hold that and now take a few rounds of breath here. So remembering that breath we started with the 1, 2, 3, we're going to do that here. So inhaling, keeping that slight engagement. This is the tricky part. And then exhale. So almost feel as if you're trying to fill air through the whole rectangle of your body. So front to back, side to side. Now notice how my back is nice and flat, right? Parallel with the floor. So just trying to do that in your own body best you can, all right? Grounding down into the ground, so pressing with the hands down. Few more of those big breaths in and out. Feeling the strength and stability as well as the movement of your breath. Really nice. All right, so now we're gonna move into something called cat-cow. So I want you to curl your toes under and you're gonna open your heart to the front of the room. So we did this in the chair, so it's very similar. So you're opening the heart to the front of the room and allowing the hips to come up a little bit. So you'll notice my back sways a little bit, but don't let go here. So I'm not completely floppy. I still have a little tension here. And then you're gonna exhale and you're gonna press away and come into arching your back, right? Inhale, press away, open the heart, and then exhale, curl. So you should feel like your tummy muscles are helping you to do this, right? So you really wanna draw your belly button in when you press away. So a few rounds of this on your own breath, your own pace. So inhaling when the heart comes open to the front of the room, exhaling as you press away. It's like a little Halloween cat, yeah? Few more. Again, that balance between holding yourself stable, but allowing your body to move a little bit, right? Really, you can't have one without the other. The two are so important. Nice. So come back to neutral. We're gonna do a little bit of core work here. So pressing down into the mat, I want you to lift the knees up. So the knees are just hovering, right? Really squeeze the inner thighs together. So pretend like you have $1,000 bill between your knees and you don't wanna lose it. Knit the ribs together, press into the mat, curl that tailbone under. You almost wanna feel like you're drawing everything into the center of your body. Nice, and then just release. All right, let's try that again. Press up. Really draw your belly button in and up. Hold, 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 and then release. All right, let's try that one more time. Draw everything into the center line. Press down into the floor. Big breath in and out. So notice again, my back's pretty straight. So just trying that, okay? Best you can. As long as you can feel like your abs and your arms are working a little bit, then that's totally cool. And then release. Nice. All right, we're gonna add a little bit to that now. So coming back up into that hover with the toes curled under, I want you to slowly press your hips to the sky and straighten your left leg. So your right leg's very bent, your left leg is as straight as you're able to get it. So you're driving that heel down to the floor best you can, right? Tailbones high to the sky there. Arms are pressing into the floor. You should feel like your shoulders are pulled in to their sockets and the fingers are very wide to give you lots of stability here. Few rounds of breath here, inhaling and exhaling, allowing the hamstring to stretch out at the back of that left leg, and just best you can, right? As long as you're feeling sensation back there, that's totally what you're looking for. Breathing in. Nice. So let's bring ourselves back down to that hover. Try and stay with the knees up if you can. Challenge yourself a little bit. That's not working for you today, feel free to put them down, okay? And we're gonna do the other side. So let's inhale, exhale, pull ourselves up. And this time the right leg's very straight and the left leg's very bent. So same thing here, pressing into the mat with the hands, pulling the shoulders into their sockets. Make sure you have that core engagement that we talked about, right? So pull the navel in. Very nice. Beautiful. All right, let's come back down, knees hover for a second. You can always drop them down if you need to. So we just started to work into what's called downward facing dog, right? So we're gonna come up into the full expression of the posture. So basically this time I want you to press the hips high. All right, you can adjust your feet as you need to. And in fact, if you're feeling lots of pulling in your hamstrings, you can actually have your hamstrings nice, or sorry, your feet nice and wide, okay? Your knees can be very bent, just depending on how your hamstrings are feeling or the backs of your legs are feeling. And really just press into the floor with the hands. Feel like you're pressing your chest towards your thighs and your thighs towards your chest. Your back should be fairly straight. So notice I'm not like this, right? I would rather you have your knees very bent so that your back can be straight. Few rounds of breath here. And you can try and work your heels down towards the floor if you like, if you're feeling that in your body today. Again, just knowing that this is your practice, right? And you get to decide. Nice. So let's come all the way back down to all fours again. Knees can come down onto the mat. So we're gonna move into a couple lunge postures here. Lunge postures are pretty common in yoga, so I just wanna kind of introduce you guys to that. So regrounding yourself here, making sure you're feeling as if your back is as parallel as you can get it. Your abdominals are slightly engaged. We're gonna draw our right knee into our nose and then press it back, right? Draw it into your nose and press it back. Draw it into your nose and then place the foot on the floor. And I'd like your foot to be as wide as you can get it. So the toes are actually off the mat a little bit and the heels on the mat. So it's nice and wide. Nice. You can always pad that back knee if you need to, okay? And now bringing our left hand also off the mat, so it's nice and wide, and then pressing into that knee, okay? So just a beautiful twist. So again, if you're seated on the chair, you can always do some of those twists that we did yesterday. So inhale, get nice and tall, so lift the spine. Exhale, let's rotate a little bit more, but try and have that come from the abdominal area, right? If you wish, you can also now open up, so arm can come up high. And now in the next exhale, we're gonna use our abdominal muscles to pull in and up and draw in. So we're kind of doing that cat-cow again, right? And then inhale, open up. Exhale, draw in. So belly button to spine, almost like someone's scooping ice cream. And then exhale and open. One more time, drawing everything in and then everything open. Nice. Let's bring our hands to the floor. You can recenter them. And let's just take a few rounds of breath here, enjoying this stretch here a little bit. So you do want to feel as if you're drawing in and up. So pretend like you're squeezing the inner thighs towards one another, right? so that you have that engagement. Remember the navel to the spine or the belly button to the spine and the tailbone curled down. All right. Let's come back to our all fours, and we're gonna do a little bit of that cat-cow again. So opening the heart to the front of the room and then pressing away, coming into that Halloween cat shape. Nice. Press away and draw in. Beautiful. Let's do the other side. So making sure you're sturdy and sending the left leg back behind you and then drawing it in. So feel as if your ribs and hips are coming together. Press away. Draw in. Press away. And then one more, draw in, and let's bring that foot onto the mat. Again, we want it nice and wide, so toes are actually even off the mat, your heels on the mat a little bit, right? And then you can press into, you can even move your right hand further off the mat if you want, and press into that. So again, those twists like we did yesterday, right? So you can totally be doing those in seated as well. Just big inhales, big exhales here. And then if you wish, you can open all the way up. So remembering twists are very calming for the nervous system. Remember I said I'm a science geek, and all these postures and breath work actually have effects on the body. So yoga is kind of the best of everything. It's very spiritual, but it's also very scientific too at the same time. Very physical, very mental. Really can be everything. All right, so now if you wish, you can draw in, do a little bit of that cat-cow, pull the abs in, and then press them away. Draw in. So this pose is actually called lizard pose, if you want to learn some of the names of the poses for when you move on to some other yoga classes, so you'll know what they are. And one more. And beautiful. All right, let's bring our hands down to the mat and just enjoy this posture again for a few breaths. So it's a nice stretch for the front of this thigh from us spending so much time sitting. Nice. All right, let's bring that leg back. Coming back into our all fours. I want you to try and keep your lower body where it is and just walk your upper body forward a little bit. And your head can come onto the floor if it reaches. If it doesn't, that's no big deal. And just enjoy this little bit of a stretch for the upper back. So this is called puppy pose. Kind of looks like a puppy who wants to play, right? And again, just a few rounds of breath here. So now just for a moment, just kind of release some of the abdominal cues or the belly cues that I've been giving you and just enjoy this for a second and take full, big, deep breaths here. So inviting in a little bit of ease after doing a little bit of that kind of stability work. Nice. All right, let's walk your hands back. And we're gonna come down onto our seat. So I want you just to take a second and feel how you are sitting. If you feel like you're rounded a little bit, like if you're like this, that's okay. It's just kind of the way your posture is, but I'd like you to put something under the back of your butt to bring you up a little bit. So that cushion or your block or whatever, just place that kind of in the back part of your seat here, just to prop you up. And you should feel immediately straighter and more able to get into kind of that nice posture, okay? So we're gonna do a few hip stretches here. So these are gonna be a lot like the ones we did in the chair where we cross the foot over. So you can go ahead and do that, okay? So we're gonna take our right leg and have it in front of us like so. And then we're gonna cross our left leg all the way over so that our ankle is on top of our knee. So if this does not feel okay for you, and it may not, lots of us are tight here, or if your leg is up here, I mean, that's totally okay. But if this is really uncomfortable, I would suggest just coming into cross-legged position, and you'll still get a fairly good stretch back there, okay? So leg over top, ankle stacked, all right? And just big, tall spine, right? Always length. Few inhales and exhales. Trying to keep this foot flexed if you're able. And then slowly walking the hands forward. So again, you're in control of how far you go, right? So some people are going to be more flexible than others, and that's totally okay. So inhaling, making the spine taller, the back a little flatter, and then exhaling, maybe coming down a little bit more. And just sending the breath to where you're feeling it. So you probably are feeling a fairly big stretch in the left hip. I know I am. So just send your breath there. Send all your breath and all your love to that spot. Inviting it to just open up a little bit more. Nice, nice and tall in the spine. Again, kind of envisioning the bones of your back or the vertebrae just separating a little bit more, getting a little bit taller. Nice. And then we're going to walk our hands over to the right and probably going to make the stretch a little bit different. So just kind of playing with that a little bit. And we're actually going to come into that side bend over here that we've been doing, right? So again, really pressing down into the floor, reaching the left arm away, trying to keep your seat grounded on the floor. A few rounds of breath here. Nice. And just kind of play with it. Kind of notice maybe if you lean back a bit more, what that feels like. If you lean a bit forward, where do you notice that? And just think to yourself, where can I soften a little bit more? Where do I need to have a little bit more strength? Right? So right now I'm feeling like I need to push fairly strongly into the floor, and I feel like I need to engage so I can press my hip down. But I'm trying to soften my side, just so you guys have an idea of what I'm thinking. Nice, coming all the way back up. Beautiful. Let's straighten out the legs and just kind of bounce them up and down and allow them to release. So we're going to go to the other side. So if you just decided to go into cross leg, I would just switch what leg you have on top, right? Which is exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to bring my left leg down in front as if I'm going into cross-legged, and then I'm going to bring my right leg all the way over top so that my ankle is on my knee. I'm going to flex my foot. See, I'm more flexible on this side. I don't know if you guys noticed. And if, like I said, if your knee's up here, that's totally okay. We'll work into it. Nice and tall and straight. Again, thinking about your guitar string and then walking yourself forward. And just coming to rest wherever is comfortable for you. Just kind of being mindful that if you go to the point where you're like gripping, it's really hard for your body to relax. So I always tell people, you want to feel sensation, but you don't want it to be so much that you can't breathe nicely. That's kind of the way I decide if I've gone too far. But I invite you to kind of experiment with that, okay? Kind of deciding what's right for you right now. So again, just those nice big full breaths we've been kind of playing with today, where we're trying to fill the lungs from front to back and side to side. And then as you're ready, walking those hands around, right? So again, you're going to probably feel a little different stretch here. And then opening up into that side bend. Nice. So press into the mat so that your hip can kind of ground down. And just think about sending the breath to open up the side of your body. Beautiful. Nice. All right. And coming on out of that and just allowing the legs to come out and kind of bounce them up and down to kind of release that a little bit. Beautiful. All right. So now we're just going to come into our meditation portion of our class. So I'll invite you guys to take whatever seat is comfortable for you. Even if you want to lay down, that's totally fine as well. I just would like you to feel nice and comfortable. Grab a sweater or a blanket if you'd like, if you're feeling a little chilly. And we'll just come to rest in that comfortable position. If it feels okay for you today, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes. If it doesn't, that's okay too. And just have the hands rest wherever they're comfortable, wherever you feel okay. I'm going to suggest maybe just palms down on the lap here, but whatever feels okay for you. And just feeling tall in the spine, even if you're laying down, just noticing kind of your nice straight spine and that nice kind of tension in your guitar string. And coming back to that nice 3-count breath. So inhaling 1, 2, 3, and exhaling 1, 2, 3. Just on your own pace, your own time, just trying to fill the lungs as much as you can. Remembering you want to feel that belly rise and that belly fall. That's the calming breath, right? Like when we breathe just from the top of our chest, that's our excited, fight or flight, scared, worried breath. That part of our nervous system causes us to breathe there because it actually gets lots of quick air into the lungs, but we want our calm breath. So that's our belly breath. So just really trying to make the belly rise and fall as you inhale and exhale. And then, if you will, just envisioning a little ball of light that starts just at the base of where your belly button is, base of your spine there. And just imagine it as you're breathing in, it's starting to get warmer and glow a little bit more. And then as you breathe out, it actually rises to the heart and to the head and also gains more light. And then as you exhale, it comes back down. So just envision this nice warm ball of light getting bigger and rising and then coming back down. Or you can just come to your breath, whatever makes more sense to you. So just inhaling this warm ball of light rises, and then exhale, this ball of light comes back down. Inhale, it rises, exhale, it falls. This ball of light is just love for yourself. It's love for others, and it's love for this earth we live on. And I'll leave you just for a few moments here with your breath. If you start to have thoughts come in, it's okay. That's what our thoughts are actually supposed to do. There's no worries. Just send them away on your breath and tell them you'll come back to them later. When you hear my voice again, we'll come back together and we'll be done for tonight. And just coming back to the body on the mat. So feeling into all the points of contact between you and the floor, whether you're lying or sitting. And just coming back to the breath and taking a few more rounds of nice deep breaths to finish off your practice. And just breathing in so much gratitude for setting aside this time for yourself, for your practice. And breathing out any thoughts that no longer serve you. Breathing in so much gratitude for your body that did the beautiful practice today and the work that it did. And breathe out any thoughts that no longer serve you. And finally, just breathing in so much gratitude for today. And a big exhale, letting all your worries out. Wiggling the fingers and the toes to bring you back awake. As you're ready, slowly opening the eyes or coming up if you were laying into sitting. Amazing. Again, as always, thank you so much, Chi Miigwech, for sharing your very valuable time with me today. I hope that there was something good there for you. I'll just stop the recording here. If I can figure that out. There we go.